dropped to 0-6, while the Wildcats move to 5-1.
Andy Van Bergen, Montague High School student. Carrying on the tradition this year of having students sing the national anthem. That was junior Andy Van Bergen, Montague High School student, with his rendition of the national anthem.
Rather ironic, Larry, just as I always get goosebumps up and down my spine when the kids sing that song. And just as he talked about the bombs bursting in the air, you could hear the popcorn in the background out of the popcorn popper doing its thing.
I noticed a smile out of your face, and I thought that's what it was because I noticed the same thing. Starting lineups for the Norse: at one guard, number 10, 5'7" senior Tom Myers. Guard number 14, 5'10" senior Greg Potoff. One forward, number 20, 6'0" senior Matt Colby. At forward, number 50, 5'11" junior Ron Hillman, and at center, number 40, 6'2.5" senior Carl Nichols. And of course, the Norse we mentioned were coached by Mr. Greg Weeman. Should note that that's the first start of the season for Greg Potoff and Carl Nichols. For the Wildcats, senior Paul Schlaff, number 12, followed by J.J. Flynn, number 40. Sophomore Doug Schlaff, number 14. Sophomore junior Dennis Flynn, number 34. And senior Jim Grieve, number 32. And of course, the Wildcats are coached by Mr. Jim Tate. Standing next to Mr. Tate is Mr. Ray Schlaff, the junior varsity coach. And our junior varsity team tonight, Roger, was victorious 79-42 over the North Muskegon Norse.
Well, the JVs have had their troubles of late, but they're a good ball club, and you just knew they were going to come back and do something well, and they did tonight against the Norse.
Officials for tonight's game, perhaps some of the fans saw them earlier this year as we did our Focus on the Schools program on the Philosophy Athletics. Jim McLean and Billy Scott, both from Muskegon.
Well, Larry, if the crowd is any indication tonight, the Wildcats seem a little fired up.
They surely do. They're probably all thinking it's good to be back to action after Christmas break.
Well, I'm sure they're all happy to be back in school.
Okay, we're set for the opening tip-off. Carl Nichols against Jim Grieve. And Grieve controls the tip easily. Paul Schlaff, that is, with a drive in the opening bucket. Montague cracks the scoring barrier first, 2-zip.
They're into their typical press.
Get throughout the year. And only three people on the floor right now for the Norse that have started at least once for the North Muskegon team. And number 20, that's Matt Colby with their first bucket. Senior forward Matt Colby. That was a three-pointer. Paul Schloff dishes off to Dennis Flynn. No good with the turnarounder. And the Norse control coming from the court. Drive all the way. Basket's no good by Greg Potoff. But the Norse still control. Top of the keys, Tom Myers. 5'7" scrappy point guard for the Norse. Looking inside. No good on the basket from the left baseline by Matt Colby. Colby is the leading scorer on the floor, averaging 11 points per game for the Norse. Doug Schloff, number 14, with that set shot. No good. Nice rebound in there. The Norse had good position, a triangle at that time.
That was number 40, Carl Nichols, with the rebound on that play.
Nichols, the tallest man on the North Muskegon team, 6'2½". Tom Myers, Colby, no good, and Grieve with the rebound. Paul Schloff hustling the ball down the court, takes the jumper from the outside, won't drop. Rebound, spot for, another miss by J.J. Flynn that time, but the Norse come out with it. Score still 3-2, Norse. Matt Colby driving the center. Good, nice drive to the paint that time.
5-2 Norseman.
Double stack offense by the Wildcats, and that's Doug Schloff with a nice left-handed short jumper there. 5-4 North Muskegon. Tom Myers.
Nice pass by Paul Schloff, unable to be handled.
Gonna be Montague's ball. Billy Scott from underneath where the ball was makes a nice judgment call that time. Went off the North's hand, deflection. I don't think all the North's fans agreed with the call. Nice baseline move by Paul Schloff, senior Paul Schloff. Paul's averaging 18.8 points per game coming in tonight. Been the leading scorer nearly every game. Potoff is Colby outside with a three-point attempt, comes up short. Nice feed by Paul to brother Doug, no good, but Jim Grieve.
Good strong rebound by Jim Grieve and followed in on Doug Schloff's shot and made the rebound, put it back up for two. And the Wildcats.
Team with 50 rebounds for the season coming into tonight. Norse back now. Tom Myers out at front again. Nice pass. For the night for the Wildcats. Berger and Robbie Smith coming in, replacing J.J. Flynn and Dennis Flynn.
Well, those fans that haven't watched the Wildcats before tonight on TV will realize that Jim Tate does use a lot of substitutions. He plays all the kids on the bench, and everybody gets a chance to play during the night. And in the paper earlier in this year, he said when you play an in-your-face defense, you got to play a lot of people. And I think that if I were a player in that team, that'd make me happy.
That's for sure. And the Wildcat fans remember that the Wildcats used that same strategy. They played almost everybody regularly last year as well. Nice basket underneath that time by Robbie Smith off the feed. And the Wildcats are ahead by 4. Tom Meyer with the short jumper, no good, and Doug Schloff controls the ball for the Wildcats. Drops it for his brother, Paul Schloff. Pass looked underneath for Jim Grieve, but he couldn't quite control it. So the Norse come back. Tom Meyer from the free-throw line, good. Cuts the Wildcat lead to 2. with 3:20 remaining in the first quarter. Norse are playing very well, Roger, considering that they have some starter difficulty.
As we said at the top of the show, Larry, it's really difficult to come in when you've got 3 kids of the stature that North Muskegon has out of the ball game, and you know, it's a confidence thing with your kids. They're thinking, my gosh, we got those kind of ball players out, what are we going to do? But as you say, thus far they played real well.
Top of the key, and it's Matt Colby. Remember, he's averaging 11 points per game. They're going to have to go to him more tonight, probably. Nice steal by Paul. Pass to Doug. No good. And Matt Colby controls the rebound. Man-to-man defense as usual by the Wildcats. Nice basket off that corner, too, by center Carl Nichols. Coach Weeman perhaps thinks that he needs to control the ball.
That's right. He's going to come down, slow it down, take time off the clock. He knows he doesn't have his big scorers in the ball game. We're going to have a travel on Robbie Smith. And that's what you want to do. If you're going to play a slow-down offense now, he's going to come down and take his time, see what he can set up, and hopefully score after a little while and make the Wildcats suffer for every play.
Pass was a little too hard for Nichols to control. I don't think he was quite expecting it at that point. The Wildcats return up the court. Jim Tate should be used to that kind of strategy since he has employed it several times in his career himself, and I'm sure he recognizes what Coach Weeman is doing.
Nice turnaround jumper there by Jim Grieve. Well, we saw that strategy last game against the Grant Tigers where they were playing back in the zone, and Jim Tate just employed the slowdown game and said, come on out and get us.
There's that drive to the paint again, the pass off, and this time Nichols can't quite make the bucket go down. Paul Schloss back for the Wildcats, comes up short. There's Tom Myers coming back up. Nice pass down court to Ron Hillman. And now they set it up again. The Wildcats will have to be careful to watch how they sag, if they, like they have the last 2 times down the court. They're trying it again. The Wildcats did a nice job at defensing at that time, Roger.
Jim Grieve got his hand in there, knocked the ball out of bounds. We got 2 more subs coming in here. Denny Flynn, Eric Webb, Flynn, and J.J. Flynn. Replacing Jim Grieve, Paul Schloff, and Doug Schloff.
Nice deflection by Kevin Bushberger. Norse are going to be very patient here tonight, obviously. Probably came into the game with that strategy in mind. And so far it's been very effective. They're only down by 2 with only 37 seconds left in the first quarter. Nichols with the ball looking inside, and he passes inside to number 44, Scott Smith.
He's pushed by Dennis Flynn, and the foul is called by Billy Scott. Excuse me.
Second personal on Dennis Flynn. And I think we're going to have another substitution. Tom Cedarquist coming in for the Wildcats. Senior Tom Cedarquist. That game against Grant, he had a real strong game, rebounding inside, and got some real nice buckets too, Roger.
Well, Tom had suffered a little bit the first quarter in that game, but came back and played real strong.
Eric Rebb gets the rebound off from the missed shot by Colby. Having a little trouble with control. Norse pick it up. Tom Myers with the shot, no good. And we're going to have a foul call, I believe, over the back is the call on Carl Nichols. Call from the outside by Billy Scott. I think Jim McLean underneath was screened by the 3 Wildcats going after the rebound.
You know, one thing about watching these 2 guys work, Scott and McLean, they may make a wrong call, but by gosh, when they make it, it's emphatic enough that everybody believes them.
Absolutely. 2 fine gentlemen, real fine referees as well. Each of them having worked considerable games in state tournament action as well.
Got Paul Schloff back in the ball game.
Paul with a three-point attempt. Good. 15 Wildcats. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Montague 15, North Muskegon 10. And with that, we'll take a brief word for a message from our sponsors. Here we are back live, Roger. The Wildcats ended that first quarter up by 5, but I think they perhaps were a bit surprised knowing that North Muskegon had some frontline players out.
Well, when you get to varsity athletics, even though some kids sit in the bench sometimes, if you get frontline players out and other kids have to come in, they're usually able to suck it up and say, hey, let's take up the slack. We're going to play some good ball. We're going to, show the way for our school. There's a lot of pride, and you just never know what's going to happen. We saw that earlier this year in Whitehall, where they had two of their frontline ball players out, and they played real well against Montague and were able to beat us by a point or a couple points. And you never know. You can never count anybody out when you get into basketball.
That's absolutely correct. And the guys who haven't had the chance to play as much, I'm sure, are really thankful for this opportunity to be on the court, do their best job, and perhaps earn some more playing time later in the season.
That's for sure. And if you could send the score in, that's what you do. But you got to play the ball game.
Matt Colby with a real nice drive to the center. Missed that layup as he attempted a little left-hander. And it rolls out of bounds to the Wildcats. Another three-point attempt by Paul Schloff is good. Paul is the leading three-point shooter in terms of number of points for the Wildcats. He's shooting 33%. His brother Doug is ahead of him in percentage, but he's not made as many baskets. Here come the Wildcats again.
Good strong rebound there by Robbie Smith, and he brought the ball down. Up, and here we go.
Robbie's had a good season too, Roger. He's come on strong. He's averaging 10 points a game. Gets several rebounds every time. Nice outside shot again that time. And we have a timeout on the floor.
Eric Webb made a good move there, and you got to be happy for him. Eric, a sophomore, moving up to the varsity, and that's always a tough job to do. And everybody's looking at you. Why are you there? But Eric, I think, has proven during the course of the year he's quick. He's got a good shot. He works hard. And he truly belongs in the varsity team.
I don't think there's anybody on the court for most games that has any more quickness and good hands than Eric Webb. He's just so fast down the court. Seems like the opposing player can be at midcourt with a breakaway, and before he gets under the bucket for the layup, there's Eric.
Well, sometimes, Larry, I think fans question, why would you bring a sophomore up to the varsity? And we have two of them this year, and we have a good varsity team even without those two boys. But they add a lot of new dimensions to the team, and plus what people don't think about is the fact that it adds a lot to your JV team. We've got some kids in the JVs that wouldn't probably be playing a lot of time if those two boys weren't up in the varsity.
Absolutely correct. And that ripples all the way down. The freshman team would say the same thing then, because of course there are a couple of freshmen on the JV team. Nice steal that time, and drive by Eric. There he was again with those quick hands.
If I were Perry Mason, I would say, I rest my case.
Right. So Eric will be at the line for two shots this time. It's a first personal on Matt Colby. Webb has not made a free throw yet this year. He only had 2 attempts, and now he is from 0% to 33% in one shot.
If I was like Van Patrick from the old Detroit Lions, I'd say, check that, Larry. He's made one.
Yeah, that's for sure. And now two. Score is 22-10 Montague with 6:54 remaining in the second quarter. Press defense put on by the Wildcats. Colby drives by Paul Schloff, but Paul gets a hand on the ball from the back. Colby with a nice pass underneath, but Nichols can't convert. rebound is good. That wasn't Nichols either. It was my error on that. That's Scott Smith, number 44, sophomore. We were just talking about sophomores, and there's a 6'2" sophomore for the Norse on the floor.
Nice strong move by Tom Cedarquist. He didn't get the bucket, but drew the foul.
No, I think they're going to call him for the offensive. No, I think they're going to call a personal on Tom. I think they say he dropped his shoulder as he went to the basket on that one. And Billy Scott was standing right next to him, so he certainly had a good view of it. First personal on Tom. We have substitutions back into the game again.
We have Jake Olson, Kevin Bushberger, Doug Schloff, and Jim Grieve back in the game. The only person that remains is Eric Webb.
And for the Norse, Charlie Sheridan came in, the 6'3" senior. And that would be Sheridan making the bucket. And we have to got to watch for Sheridan because he's a rebounder, Roger. He's leading the team with almost a 10 rebound per game average. So that could be an important factor. There's
That's
Sheridan.
Kevin's strong point. Driving to the basket. He's quick, and if he can get a step on his man, get that shoulder around him, he's going to drive to the bucket and make a bucket like he did there.
Okay, now we have the four corner again. Tom Meyer back to Matt Colby. Colby looking to the center. Nothing there, so he brings it back out. Tom Meyer passes underneath to Nichols, but it goes off his hand and will be Montague's ball. Paul Schloff going back on the court, replacing Eric Webb. .5:11 remaining in the first half, 24-14 Montague. Nice inside pass by Jake Olson. Assist to Olson and bucket to Grieve. Nice inside move that time by Jim.
Jim was really strong with that move. The ball got sort of tapped away. He picked it up, went up, and he got bumped a little bit and still put the bucket in.
Matt Colby with a nice drive and bucket from just inside the paint. Bring back 26-16. Paul Schloff, no good. Colby with a rebound. There's Sheridan picking it up. And he's trying to. Tom Meyer comes out of the fracas with the ball. Myers inside to Colby, who's trying to get it down to Nichols. Can't quite get it through the defense. Nice baseline drive and foul on Jake Olson. I think it's going to be the call, number 22. Jake didn't cut off the base. That's what happens when you let the man get a step on you underneath, Roger.
You get that man by, and then you've got to either just let him go to the basket or step in.
Tom Myers with 2 shots from the free throw line. First one a little too hard. I think Jake kind of thought there'd be a teammate underneath. He sagged down and give him a little help.
Well, Jim Grieve had been screened off in the play and was back outside the paint, so Jake by himself.
Paul Schloff picking the ball up. Nice fake by Jake that time. Gets his own rebound. Has the shot blocked. But he's going to be called, or the jump ball is going to be called, that is, by Billy Scott right underneath. The Norseman got the hand right on the top of the ball as Jake went up that time. Paul Schloff with the inbounds pass and three-point attempt. Charlie Sheridan with a rebound. And Jim Grieve with the steal. We go back to the other end. This time it's three-point attempt, no good. We noticed Sheridan's been in there not very much, but he's already had 3 rebounds, I think, for the Norse. And it's kind of unusual, too, that corner.
Well, sometimes you want to have that happen because you want your tallest man to be able to see what's going on underneath the rest of the, underneath the basket and on the rest of the court.
Matt Colby with the shot down through the paint. No good, and it goes out of bounds to the Wildcats.
There we go with another emphatic call by Scott. I mean, he just, everybody in the stands may have thought it didn't go off white, but by the time he was done, you knew it did.
I'd like to see that, even if they make what we consider to be maybe a little questionable call. It's not questionable in their mind, for sure. But Jim Grieve
Nice follow-up by Jim.
Nice bank shot off the board. We saw Jim do a lot of that last year, Roger, and he's certainly had a couple of nice ones tonight as well.
Well, we saw a lot of turnaround jumpers by Jim last year. Some of them were hard to find in the film, but we found it.
Back.
About 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Score is 28-16 Montague. Colby still controlling it. It's Carl Nichols with the baseline drive, but it's a missed shot. Paul Schlaff saves it off from the Norseman, and eventually the ball goes out of bounds underneath to be controlled by the Wildcats. Substitution. Carl Nichols coming back in for the Norse. J.J. Flynn from the outside. No good. And the Norse had bad luck on the bounce that time.
That's what I was just going to say, Larry. The ball is bouncing in the Wildcats' favor a couple times down there now.
1:55 remaining in the first half. Steal by J.J. Flynn. Picks the ball up. Drives down court. Wisely pulls up as the North get back quickly on defense this time. J.J. over to Paul. Paul looking for the drive. Nice reverse layup that time. Left-handed reverse. Paul's left-handed, of course, but that's still a nice drive and bucket. You don't see too many of those. Nice pressure that time. Creates the turnover.
We've got Eric Webb checking back into the game for Paul Schlaff. And number 50, Tom Cederquist coming in for Jim Grieve. And Dennis Lind coming in for Robbie Smith. So 3 substitutions with 1:19 to go by Coach Jim Tate. Tom Myers in for the Norseman. See number 22, Larry.
More forward that they brought up just for tonight's game as a result of the problems they've had in the last couple of weeks here.
Out of bounds to the Norseman.
Norse looking to inbounds the ball. Matt Colby with the miss off the inbounds pass. Doug Schlaff brings the ball down court. Looks to Dennis Flynn. There's JJ at the top of the key, the three-point range. Now Eric drives inside. Shot is blocked.
Eric right there had a jump shot that he could have taken rather than trying to drive. And I think that's one thing that he'll learn as time goes on. You take that shot when you get it. And once you start establishing the fact you can make the jump shot, then you drive the bucket.
Ball goes out of bounds off from the Wildcats. Tom Myers brings it up court. It's the patient offense again. Eric Webb trying to get a piece of the ball. Can't quite make it. We're going to call number 14, Greg Potoff, for the walk that time. Just moved his feet when he dribbled the ball.
Well, with 23 seconds to go, Larry, and a 16-point lead, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Tate goes for one shot here.
Well, he's done that several times this year, and I think he is. A double high post, really bringing those Dalton does. Doug comes up a little short, but gets his own rebound. Nice hustle. Not quite good at the end of the first half. The score remains a 16-point difference. Montague 32. We're up by only 2 at the end of the first quarter, as I recall. So they picked up 14 at in the second quarter.
Well, Larry, I think it's sort of like the wave action on Lake Michigan. When you get a good ball club like Montague, you have three players out like North Muskegon does, it's inexorable. You just sort of wear away, and that's what happened in the second quarter. But North Muskegon can be proud of the fact they played well without 3 good ball players.
Absolutely, and Jim Tate, of course, is very fortunate because he has great depth on the bench. He has at least 8 or 9 players of somewhat equal talents, and I'm sure he's not afraid to put any of his players on the floor at any given time, and that's really a luxury that a lot of coaches don't have.
Well, he's evidenced that through the 2 years he's been here in Montague. You know, a lot of times people sit in the stands and say, why don't you play this kid or that kid? Jim could never be blamed for that. I'm sure some fans say, why is he playing so many? Why doesn't he put 5 kids out there and go with them? But I personally like the style because you get to see a lot of different ball players, a lot of different looks. And I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast that the in-your-face defense dictates the fact that if you're going to play that way, you've got to put kids in the ball game that are fresh, and he does that.
Okay, Roger, I think we'll wrap it up for a moment now, and we'll be back with action in a few minutes for the second half. Welcome back to Montague High School, as the North Muskegon Norths are not back on the court yet, but the Wildcats are out warming up for the second half. Score is 32-16, Montague ahead, and the Wildcats have had little trouble since the first quarter, taking advantage of some fast break opportunities, some good rebounding, strength underneath by Grieve and Smith and some others, and they pulled out that 16-point lead.
Well, here come the Norsemen now, Larry, and as you say, we had only a 2-point lead after the first quarter, but we've expanded that to 32-16, and with their 3 starters out, it looks like the Wildcats are probably just going to pound away and get a good lead and do a good job against them tonight.
We should take a minute here while we can to remind fans of upcoming sports action for the Wildcats. This coming Tuesday, January 10th, the Cats will travel to Holton when they take on the Holton team at their home court. Please notice, fans, that game time is 6 p.m. 6 p.m. for the JV tip-off. And then a week from tonight, the Wildcats will return home for a contest that's always an interesting one, exciting, and a tough one for them, when they entertain the Mason County Central Spartans. This year, I don't believe they've won a game yet, Roger, but they've dropped a few close ones. I've seen Coach Shriver a few times myself because his son and mine both attend Alma College, and we've seen some of each other at those games. But Jack is a little frustrated, but I'm sure he'll come up with something that'll make him tough a week from tonight, a week from Friday night.
Well, I think Mason County's had one of their good ball players from years past, a boy by the name of Kevin Kimes, out of the lineup due to a football injury, and he'll make a difference when he comes back.
And they also have another one of their potential frontline players with a knee problem. He has a pin in his leg right now, and Coach Shriver was telling me that he's hopeful that he can come back in the second semester and help put some things together for the Wildcats. Well, for the Spartans.
I think they're Spartans, yeah. When it comes to the Spartans, they always equate themselves well, and they're one of the better teams at WMC every year, so you never know what's going to happen.
Well, we see the officials back on the court, ready for the second half to begin. Jim McLean holding the ball, flanked by Billy Scott.
Larry, earlier you mentioned we did a Focus on the Schools program with them, and we've mentioned the fact that they're in control of the ball game. And I'd just like to say, from my standpoint, 2 years ago, we played Whitehall over here when your son Randy was a junior, and Whitehall beat us in overtime, and Jim and Bill were the officials, and that ball game was one of the best I've ever seen in all the years I've watched high school basketball, because they were so much in control of the ball game. And that's true again tonight.
That's true. Every game those fellows work, they're just very excellent on the court.
Larry, I couldn't help but notice that you looked at your 50-50 ticket here. Did you win or lose, or couldn't you hear?
I don't think I'm sure I heard that, but I'm sure I didn't win because I never have. The fellow at the desk out there, Mr. Dick Knoth, husband of teacher Donna Knoth, Dick and Donna taking tickets tonight, and he guaranteed me I was going to win, but I don't think he made true his promise.
Well, that's the way it is every time I play the lottery. You know, I've taken my family on 15 ocean cruises, and they've never come true yet.
Right. Ready for second half action to begin now as the Montague High School pep band is filed off the court, and the Norse put it back into play. Same starting lineups for both teams as started the game. Nice pick up by the Wildcats, but Grieve can't handle the pass underneath.
Nice pass by Paul Schloff under there, and I think Jim felt he was going to shoot it and was moving to the basket for a rebound and was not able to handle the pass.
Matt Colby, the drive through the paint. He's done lots of that tonight, and this time he picks up the personal foul on the Wildcats. I think it's going to be on number 14, Doug Schloff.
That's Doug's first foul of the evening, Larry.
It was before the shot was taken, so the Norse put it back into play underneath. Matt Colby, outside three-point attempt is good. First three-pointer for the Norse. First bucket of the second half.
Makes the score 32-19.
Norse bring it back. Colby with the ball again, outside that three-point range, and I think I was wrong before. I think he had, I think the Norse had one other three-pointer earlier in the evening. So they've got 6 points off the long shots. Colby in the paint this time, no good. Nice rebound that time as Scott Smith picks it up and sinks it.
Well, Jim Grieve didn't get position that time, didn't box his man out, and Smith got the rebound.
Dennis Flynn with nice rebounding position underneath that time. There's no way that the Norseman, Kyle Nichols, was going to get that ball unless he went over the back of Dennis, and that's exactly what he did.
One of Dennis's real strong points is his ability to position himself well for rebound.
Dug inside to Dennis Flynn. Nice turnaround, and it drops this time. Dennis Flynn with a nice basket. Pressure by the Wildcats again. Greg Potoff bringing it up. Tosses it across over the top to Tom Myers, who makes the drive all the way to the basket. And we had two Wildcats down there, and they both stepped out of his way. So he had an unobstructed path to the basket that time. J.J. Flynn right on that three-point line, and he sinks it. It's a two-pointer. Probably the fans could see that time. It was clear his foot was on the line.
He had his right foot over the line.
Again, the patient four-corner offense. Greg Potoff with the ball. And the left-handed shot, one drop, and Dennis Flynn gets that power rebound. Paul Schloff looking one way, drives the other, sinks the basket. It's going to count, and I believe he's fouled. Fouled by, I
number
think it's
40,
Myers.
I think.
No, number 14, I think. It's Greg Potoff. Greg Potoff.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Larry, but I didn't.
Paul Schloff on the line for his first free throw attempt tonight.
But Paul did a nice job that time looking the man off the basket and then went back to the basket. That's
a strong point of Paul's, and he sinks that free throw. He's shooting 82.5% from the line coming into tonight. Can't remember, is that the first? No, Eric, I guess, was on the line very early in the game for us, wasn't he?
Eric made a couple of free throws.
The Norse again, pot off outside, back to Colby. Myers driving left. And I think we're going to be having a foul this time on Jim Grieve as he pushes off the Norseman, Scott Smith. I made an error a minute ago. I think Colby didn't have the ball when I said he did. But it makes no difference.
Larry, we've got quite a crowd here tonight in the Montague side of the gym, the one that the fans can't see, our student section and a lot of adults. To the left of us here in the booth, I'm amazed by the amount of people here.
It is a nice crowd, and North Muskegon has a nice group with them too. But they're 5-2 on the year overall. That's a nice record for the Norse, and that makes a difference sometimes on how many fans you have come with you. Basket won't drop this time, but the North Muskegon team still controls it. It's Tom Myers looking inside, nothing there. Passes inside to Charlie Sheridan, but can't control. Baseline drive, drops the pass, and it rolls over the top. Shot was by Kyle Nichols.
Well, there's a case, you almost wish you had instant replay, because Robbie Smith got beautiful inside position on that rebound on a bigger man from North Muskegon, and as a result of that position, he drew the foul.
First of the night on Scott Smith. Kevin Bushberger in now, along with Eric Webb. Back to Paul. Kevin looking to the baseline, makes the baseline move. Left-handed layup attempt. Nice move by Kevin. Foul by number 54, Charlie Sheridan. That'll be a shooting foul. That's his first personal. Kevin Bushberger at the line for the Wildcats. He's a 64% shooter, having made 9 of 14 so far this year. First one drops. One more attempt now. Billy Scott with a little house cleaning chore underneath.
The life of the official.
Right. And another one drops for Bushberger. Colby into Tom Myers. And that time they break the Wildcat press quite easily. And I think he's going to be called for traveling. Billy Scott makes the call from the back. And Scott Smith knew it as soon as the call was made. I think he was disgusted with himself that time. Coach Weeman was hoping that he could remain competitive, and he surely has tonight with this Norseman. He's looking forward, of course, to the tournament time to peak his kids, like most coaches do.
Well, one other thing, too, we got to remember the Norse play in Class D competition while the Wildcats play in Class C.
That's correct.
Traditionally, that's been an advantage for the Norsemen in football, in that they gain a lot of points by the competition they play. And in some ways is a advantage in basketball because they play tougher competition and then play Class D in the tournaments.
That's correct. A lot of their competition is C because this is a C league, of course. And North Muskegon is only about 50 students over the Class D limit. We were talking about that at the scorers table before the game, or actually during the JV halftime. And Coach Weeman was saying that they're still Class D by quite a ways. Nice rebound by Paul Schloff that time. Nice look down court to Kevin Bushberger.
Nice pass from about 3/4 court down to Kevin Bushberger for the layup.
43-23. The Wildcats up by 20 with 3:30 remaining in the third quarter.
We're going to have Olson, Doug Schloff, and J.J. Flynn checking back into the game for the Wildcats. I'm unable to see the numbers of the Norsemen that will check in. Number 14 and number 50, that's Potoff and Hillman. That will be back into the lineup for the Norsemen.
Two of those starters for the Norse back into the game. The Norse have had some trouble scoring tonight, but probably not too unexpectedly. Tom Myers with the outside three-point attempt, no good. Rob Smith with a nice rebound. Eric Webb with the, no, that was Jake Smith with the pass down court. Was out of bounds, however, to the Norse. Coming up on 3 minutes. Steal by Jake Olson. Now that JJ had the right idea there. He knew he was going to be able to, having a difficult time to control the ball, and he bounced the ball off the Norse, but JJ was out of bounds when he did it, so Norse ball. Back in, but this time it goes to the Wildcats. JJ Flynn tries to pass to the middle to Rob Smith. Can't make it go through. Nice move that time by Tom Myers, but he can't get it to drop left-handed.
Things are getting a little ragged out there right now, Larry. It is less than aesthetic to watch.
That's true. I don't know how many times we've mentioned both in boys and girls. That was a good example of it again, that Tom Myers, having missed that layup, I'm sure was frustrated with himself, and he came back probably trying to make up for that a little bit, and he reached in when he shouldn't have and drew the foul. And I think Coach Wieman is going to talk to him about that right now.
Well, the one thing you try to teach your players is what's gone is gone. You go back and you try to do the best job you can on the other end without being frustrated with the past.
Doug Schloff at the line. Good on the first of a one and bonus situation. Doug is in second place in the free throw department. Made 15 for 19 coming into tonight. Now,
and who's first, Larry?
21. Well, actually, there are two players tied at the top. Doug's brother Paul, of course, and Rob Smith is actually shooting exactly the same percentage as Paul Schloff, 82.5. Colby from the outside three-point range. Off the mark this time. The Norse control, and nice move that time. Inside, he got the rebound and drove around. Kyle Nichols with the basket.
That was a good, strong move. He was partially blocked on the way up, and yet still put the ball in the bucket.
Jake Olson, a little short this time. Jim Gree with the basket. I think Rob reached in off the rebound and tapped it back to Jim.
Yes, he did. And that's Jim just seems to really excel at that kind of a shot.
It's his favorite range, about 10 to 12 feet, I think, and he's pretty accurate from out there. Jim's shooting 51% on the year for field goals. Rebound is finally controlled by Colby. Takes a three-pointer, and it's good. 46-28 with 1:17 remaining in the third quarter. J.J. Flynn coming up court now. Jake Olson back to J.J. Doug Schloff. Nice movement around the perimeter that time. Jake no good on the shot. Ron Hillman took the rebound, drops it for Colby. Norse are not using that four-corner anymore, you notice. And instead, they're looking for the close-in shots, and that time one drops.
46-30, favor the Wildcats.
Shot that time by Dan DeLong. That's probably among his first baskets as a varsity player, because I don't know if he's been brought up before this year, but I don't think so from the way Coach Wieman talked. Three-point basket by Doug Schloff. Probably quite a thrill for Dan DeLong to get his first
Well, it must not have been his
basket.
first one, Larry. We didn't stop the game and give him the game ball like they do in the major leagues. So.
Nice pass that time. Goes to Kyle Nichols for the basket. 49-32 is the score at the end of the third quarter. I think we were up by 16, so we actually picked up 1 point in that quarter, Roger. Well, we have an opportunity here. I think we'll take a commercial break right now. Well, we're back live here at Montague High School as we enter the fourth quarter with the Cats leading 49-32. We'd just like to take a moment here to give a word of thanks again to Centel Channel 5 Cable TV. Mr. Steve Jones and his crew down there have been more than cooperative with us all through our efforts on broadcasting these contests. Of course, we've been on the air for wrestling this year. Next wrestling contest on here, I think, is the 18th of January, Roger. I'm not sure when the next volleyball one is. I can't recall right now, but we'll have volleyball on again. And, of course, more basketball.
Wildcats get the ball out of bounds, start the fourth quarter with a 49-32 lead.
Doug Schlaff back out top to Eric Webb. Eric's pass is intercepted by the North's Tom Myers. Makes a nice drive to the bucket. Scores 2. Up by 15 are the Cats. Kirk Ritter in the game now for the first time. Passes into Grieve and then back out to Doug. Basket attempt underneath. Tom Cedarquist is fouled.
And Tom made a strong move to the basket and almost had the basket as well as the free throw coming up, but was unable to convert.
Good heads-up move by Doug that time as he drove the paint and saw Tom open underneath and just lobbed the ball under to him.
You got to wonder sometimes where Doug's eyes are because he seems to see all over the court.
Tom sinks that first. It's his second free throw success from the line this year. And he misses that one, but hustles nicely after the rebound. Can't quite control it, however, as it goes out of bounds to be controlled by North Muskegon.
Well, that was good hustle by Tom. Unfortunately, he was unable to control the ball and then went out of bounds.
Three-point effort that time, doesn't quite drop. There comes Kirk Ritter on the fast break. All the way down and a little too hard. Tom controlled the rebound and had it knocked out by the Norse.
Kirk made a nice strong drive to the basket. Probably could have taken one more dribble and gone right to the bucket for the layup.
Once again, the Norse can't control underneath. Charlie Sheridan having a little difficulty that time, so we'll put it in play once again. Doug Schlaff gets the inbounds pass, three-point attempt, rolls across. And this time Matt Colby comes out of there for the Norse with the ball. Charlie Sheridan trying to post up inside. Can't quite get the pass from Tom Myers. Nice move that time by Charlie Sheridan, though, at the post up. Had the right idea.
Well, that time Eric Webb tried to pass to Tom Cedarquist. Tom was moving to the bucket and was unable to get the ball.
Substitutions back into the game for both teams, and the Norse control. 50-34 with 6:30 remaining. Myers now out to the top, looking inside. The pass is finally taken by Kirk Ritter, and Paul Schlaff will bring it up court. Paul inside to Tom once again, and this time he's good.
Nice assist by Paul Schlaff. Good strong move by Tom Cedarquist.
Tom shooting 71.5% from the floor for the season. Norse trying to work it inside. Going to have a foul, I think, away from the ball this time. Paul Schlaff and Scott Smith get tangled up away from the ball as the screen was being made for the drive to the basket. I think the call is going to go against the Norse, Roger.
Yeah, Scott Smith, I think they're going to call for being more tangled than Paul was.
That's his third personal. Paul goes to the line, one in bonus. Both teams are in the bonus situation. No, that's not true. Montague is the only team in the bonus situation. I looked at the possession light up there. Good on the first.
And the Norse, as of yet, are 2 fouls away from being in the bonus situation. Actually, 3, as the Wildcats have committed only 2 fouls this half.
And good on the second as well as Paul. We've said that a lot about Paul this year. Good on the first, good on the second from the free throw line. Nice form by senior Paul Schloff. 2-point attempt, no good. Nice rebound that time and basket by number 22. That's sophomore Dan DeLong once more.
Well, I think everybody in their memory has a real outstanding ball game that they can recall. We have a foul here now, and Tom Cederquist will be going to the lane. But one of the best high school basketball games I've seen in years was last year when the Cats went up to Pentwater, and Paul Schloff in that ball game converted 2 free throws near the end of the ball game and enabled the Cats to win. But as usual last year, that was not just a Paul Schloff effort, but an entire team effort. But just a super ball game, and something that I can still see him making those free throws as if I had watched him do it on videotape or something days and days and days.
I wonder why that might be, Mr. Finland. I can't understand it. Tom misses the first. We'll get one more shot at it because he was in the act of shooting when he was fouled. Looking back at last season at that Pentwater game, I think both teams were 8-0 going into the contest.
Correct.
And it was a very excellent game. Nobody ever had much of a comfortable lead, and nobody could be disappointed by the way they played, really. Of course, the Pentwater team, I'm sure, was disappointed they didn't win it, but they should be proud of the way they played during the contest.
What high school basketball was all about. The crowd was outstanding. Both teams played well, and it was a good ball game.
And now back to this contest as the Norris grabbed that rebound. Number 40 had the ball, and then it's thrown out of bounds. Carl Nichols, that was. Nice attempt to save the ball by Tom Myers. But the Wildcats will control inbounds.
Derek Picard checking into the ball game. I always say Picard. That if I mispronounce that, it's because that's a UP name. That was Picard or Picard, and here it's Picard.
Derek Picard in the game, and this time Paul Schloff makes that nice left-handed layup shot off the baseline. Beautiful move that time by Paul. 56-36 is the score. 20-point lead with 4:36 remaining in the game. Turnaround attempt, falls short by Scott Smith. He hustles after the rebound, but knocks it out of bounds in the effort. Montague ball. Jake Smith coming in for Kirk Ritter. Derek Picard with the ball. Does he give you a bad time about the way you say his last name, Roger?
He's only smiled at me about it, but he should give me a bad time. I've known him for about 5 years now. I shouldn't mess it up like I do.
Wildcats have a couple of chances at the hoop, but can't convert. Norris as Myers misses the layup at the other end. Derek makes a nice save, nice pass. Beautiful move by the way.
It was made by Picard.
Good job, Roger. Last time I saw Derek play, he had an excellent game too. Several free throw conversions on his part, and he had it was all the time he's in there. Kirk Ritter did a nice job for the Wildcats tonight as well.
Yes, he did.
Came up with several loose balls, some nice drives to the basket. Substitution again for the Wildcats. 58-36, 3:45 remaining. Basket is good off the inbounds play, but Carl Nichols, number 40. Bosch. Nice touch jumper. Montague. Matt Colby, three-point range. Good. I think that's his third triple play of the night.
Yes, it is.
Roger. All three of them really clean. Colby is at his season average of 11 per game at this point. Probably is the high score.
Going to be blue ball. That's a nice call by McLean down there. The ball went off the knee.
Charlie Sheridan.
Yeah. And correctly.
Substitution for the Norse. Ron Hillman back in. Kirk Ritter back in. Kevin Bushberger with the ball. And again, a foul is called on the baseline move. I think the last two times Kevin's tried to go around that baseline, he's drawn the personal.
Well, and again, that's a classic example of where the defensive man can step right out of bounds to stop the out of bounds. What the purpose of all that is to force the man back inside where he can get help. You don't want to give him the baseline. And if the defender steps out of bounds to cut the baseline, he's going to get help. If he doesn't, normally what happened there happens every time. They foul, and Kevin is at the foul line.
Good on the first of two attempts. And the second. Should just mention, too, that Kevin is the team leader in steals with 15 steals coming into tonight. Followed closely by Doug Schlaff and J.J. Flynn, 14 and 12, respectively. Baskets not going to fall for the Norse, but they control. Dan DeLong inside to Ron Hillman. Turn around, doesn't go. Attempt made by Scott Smith is no good, but he's fouled convincingly that time by number 54, Derek Picard, I think.
Larry, I'd like to once again mention our sponsors for the ball game. We really appreciate their support. Hunt Hardware, Todd Pharmacy, Tony Benton, Plymouth Dodge Chrysler, Home TV, Radon Lumber, the White Lake branch of the Shelby State Bank, and the Muskegon Sports Medicine Clinic down in Muskegon. It's
Hackley
just
Hospital.
Hackley No, not Hackley. Oh, black that out. General Hospital.
My error.
But anyway, we really appreciate the fact that they support our ball games and have chosen to advertise with us.
Nice steal by the Norse. Turnarounder, no good by Colby. And Kevin Bushberger comes up with a rebound.
Well, about 2 minutes to go, Larry. The Wildcats have 62.
It's up short, and Bushberger gets the rebound. Nice look by Kevin that time. Pass to Kurt Ritter. Basket good. Charlie Sheridan with the assist attempt, but the basket won't go, as Scott Smith can't quite get it to drop. Here comes Eric Webb in for the Wildcats. Bushberger with the ball for the Wildcats as we come to the 1. Pass goes out of bounds and intended for Jake Olsen, but it was behind him. Number 42 coming in for the North. Number 42 is Dan Pease. Matt Colby coming out. Gets a nice hand from the partisan North Muskegon. And Matt did a nice job tonight. Number 14, Greg Potoff, into Dan DeLong, no good. Nice inside position that time by Scott Smith, but he can't get the bucket to drop. Full-length drive by Eric Webb. Nice form that time as he laid it in. 60. North Muskegon trailing by 22 with 1 minute left in the contest.
Well, Eric again showing that good quickness that we talked about before. No one gained on him coming down the floor.
That's for sure. Jake Olson this time, left-handed, no good. Eric Webb there for the follow, can't get it to go. Nice rebound though, and the Norse are going to... Kirk Ritter inbounds to Kevin. Kevin Bushberger with a drive. It's going to be counted good. McLean made the call. The horn sounded, but you can't do that once the ball is in play. And McLean told the players to continue the play. Bushberger picked right up on it, but I'm not sure all the North Muskegon players knew what was happening.
Well, I think a few of them didn't pick up on it.
Basket by Scott Smith. (64-44). I'm not sure that Montague was credited by that with that basket from Bushberger, because I think they were up by 22 before, weren't they? Not sure, but at any rate, they're up by enough to win with 14 seconds to go.
Well, unless, you got to be careful. North Muskegon may put in their 22-point play right here. If they do, we're in trouble.
Right. Nice rebound that time by Bushberger. Bushberger's had several of those tonight. Kirk Ritter, not quite good at the basket. So as the game ends, the final score is Montague 64 and the visitors from North Muskegon 44. Well, Roger, the Norse didn't get to their average by 33 points tonight. 77 points coming into the game, 33 points short of that. Remember, we said that the two of their starters that weren't here were averaging combined 38 points per game. So had those players been here, the game might have been somewhat different.
Well, I think you're absolutely correct, Larry. You've got to consider the fact that we did not have, or the Norse did not have everybody here that they would like to have had, and consequently, you're just not going to play the kind of ball game you'd like. They kept it competitive for the first quarter with 2 points difference. And then, after that, it was Katie bar the door, and the Wildcats go on to win.
Well, the fans from Montague, I'm sure, are pleased with the victory. That moves our record to an overall 6-1. Another conference victory as well. The only defeat we've had coming at the hands of the Whitehall Vikings in that early season loss. So we're right in the thick of things as far as the West Michigan Conference race yet is concerned, Roger.
Well, I think we have to be considered one of those that are going to be strong contenders for the title. As you mentioned, we lost to the Vikings. The Vikings played a real good ball game that night, and we look forward to a good game over here with them, and perhaps we'll get back into it.
Well, when we interviewed Kim Griffin after that Whitehall game, he said the same as we have several times, that there are several teams in the West Michigan Conference that could be in the thick of things as the season draws to a close. The Bulldogs, of course, have lost a couple of heartbreakers, but I'm sure they'll be in the thick of things. The Wildcats, of course, the Vikings. The Tigers have been surprisingly strong this year as well. And it's never too late to come on strong in the West Michigan Conference this year.
That's for sure. It's always a competitive conference, and yet